Welcome back. It is Saturday, May 6th in the MLB. My two favorite picks are on the way. First off, let's recap how yesterday went. A little bit of a dry patch here, two back-to-back 1 and 2 days. We're due to give back a little bit of our units, but let's start with yesterday. We had Astros plus a half in the first five, ended up winning the first five outright. We had Phillies minus a half in the first five. It was tied 3-3. That's why I normally like to find those plus a half. Thought the Phillies would get it done, but Wheeler just didn't have his A game yesterday. And then our no-run first inning did not hit. If you did take the tie, you did cash. It was 2-2 after the first inning. Just not a great call, but either way, we're going to bounce back today. Let's have a great day. Let's go 2-0. Now, I have talked about this offer before, but I do like to talk about it time and time again. We do have an offer on Bet365, and I'll talk about it right now. Now, if you sign up using our code down below, top link in the description, we don't have a parlay of the day, so this will be the top link. You deposit $10 on Bet365 using that code. You make a $1 money line bet on any UFC fight tonight. Look, you'll get $200 worth of bonus bets. Look, I'm not going to say I'm a big UFC guy. I will watch normally the main events, the big time fights, but you don't have to be either. All you have to do is put $1 on any of the fights. I'd probably just pick a juiced money line and call it a day, and you get all the $200 worth of bonus bets, even if the bet loses. So take advantage of that. Available in New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Colorado. That Bet365 offer is down below in the description. Hopefully you guys want to take advantage of it. I know a lot of you guys have done that before, but let's dive into our favorite picks. Only got two of them today. We'll dive into this first one. It's going to be the Cleveland Guardians. I like them on the money line, plus 100 on BetMGM. I expect this line to be right around plus 100. Maybe you get a minus 105, maybe minus 110 here as they're taking on the Twins. Now, the Guardians are going to be at home, and I like them here to bounce back after yesterday's showing. Now, yesterday they lost 2-0. Guardians really couldn't manufacture anything. They scored 0 runs. They were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position and only 3 hits as a team. They just didn't look good. And I expect a lot of people to just sit back and say, you know what, Guardians are stinking it up. The Twins got Sonny Gray on the mound. I'll put Twins in all my money line parlays. Because look, Gray, 0.77 ERA. He's been really, really good. And I'm not going to poke a lot of holes into Gray's game, but look, I think the Twins are a team that I would never put in any money line parlay because they could play a high school team and they could lose, a middle school team. It doesn't matter. This is a Twins team that I can't trust to show up on any given day. And the Guardians, you could argue, are in that same boat. So I like taking the Guardians in a pick 'em at plus 100 because you never really know which team's going to show up today. And I think it's going to be the Guardians. Now, you look at Gray. Like I said, he's been great. I'm not going to come out here and say, you know what, Gray's going to get rocked today, although he could. He's an MLB pitcher. Anyone can get rocked, even the best of the best. But 3 earned runs allowed and only 35 innings pitched. He has a 1.06 whip, so he's done a really good job at keeping guys off the base paths, and he's done a good job at not allowing a lot of runs. But his expected ERA is 2.93. So is Gray a sub-1 ERA guy? No. I will guarantee you right now, at the end of the day, unless he gets injured today, Gray will have an ERA above 1. That's an almost lock. You put your whole mortgage on it because, like, you just don't see ERAs below 1. So I think some regression is coming his way. And look, he's been struggling with hard hit balls, 33rd percentile on average exit velocity, 37th percentile on hard hit percentage. So he's giving up some hard hit balls. Maybe the Guardians can find those gaps. They have a lot of plate appearances versus Sonny Gray, 128 combined across the team, only a 15.6 K percentage. So he hasn't been striking them out, and a 264 batting average. So a lot of plate appearances. They've seen Gray a ton. Regression's coming for Gray. Does it come today? I hope so, but I still think that the Guardians could win in a low-scoring game. So I think the Guardians can come out here, get some runs up on Sonny Gray, but they're going to need someone to hold it down on the other side. That's going to be Logan Allen. Now, Logan Allen making, I believe, his 3rd start of the season. On the year, decent numbers, 2.45 ERA, 1.09 whip. He has had 8 strikeouts in the first 2 starts that he's had. So if you want to look at his K-prop, wouldn't call you crazy there. Now, you look at his expected ERA, just like Gray, he's going to get some regression. I don't think he's a 2.45 ERA guy. Expected ERA sitting at around 4.5. But this is also a Twins team. Like I said, the bats sometimes just don't show up. I mean, they won yesterday 2-0. I think if they score 2 runs, they probably lose. But look, this is a Twins offense. Logan Allen is a lefty. The Twins offense, well, not great against lefties. 30th in batting average. That's dead last. 28th in OPS versus lefties. So they really have struggled versus lefties. Are they going to hit a guy that they've never seen before in Logan Allen? I don't necessarily think so. So I think Logan Allen can pitch it, do his job, and get out there and, pitch pretty well. And I think they can get up some runs on Sonny Gray, given all their plate appearances against him. When it gets to the bullpens, because obviously there are going to be run opportunities late normally in these games. That sometimes is the way that the money line goes. The starting pitchers come out, do the job. They could leave when it's, tied 1-1, 2-2. You're going to need the bullpens to hold it down. The Guardians have a minor bullpen edge. In my opinion, the 3.29 ERA versus the 3.66 look basically even on paper. I've seen the Guardians pitch a little bit more. Their bullpen, that is. I trust them a little bit more. Obviously, the Twins have a decent bullpen too. Not going to say that their bullpen is trash, but give me the Guardians at home in this one. I think they got a good chance, plus 100. I think a lot of people are going to load up the Twins in their money line parlays, and I'm going to take the home team that's lost, I believe, 3 straight games. I think the Guardians come out here and beat Sonny Gray. Give me this one. And honestly, I know a lot of people are going to be in the under 7.5, and this one wouldn't be surprised if it goes over. You just don't get too low ERAs and then also get a low scoring game. I swear that never happens. So give me the Guardians on the money line. Now, for my second play, we're going to go to a very early start, 2:20 p.m. Eastern time start, 1:20 Central time, because it is in the Central time zone, because we're going to Chicago, taking the Marlins Cubs over 9.5 runs, minus 105 on DraftKings. Now, just like a lot of people are probably going to be on Twins today, I expect even more people to be on the Chicago Cubs, either taking their juiced money line, taking them on minus 1.5, and probably taking the under today, because just like you saw yesterday, they had a high over under at the 9.5. They soared under. I think it was 5 runs combined, 4-1 Cubs victory, and rightfully so. People are going to want to back Drew Smyly on the mound, who will pitch for the Chicago Cubs. And I'm not going to come out here and say Smyly's giving up 8 earned runs today. It's probably not going to happen. But Smyly is a guy that likes to rely on the fly ball, and we'll talk about that in a second. But when I see an over under at 9.5 in Wrigley Field, that's normally one indicator the wind is blowing out, which it is today. And number 2, that they're expecting some runs scored. Yesterday, if you took the under, congrats, you got a sweat-free victory. I don't think they're giving out 2 sweat-free victories. They would have dropped it to 8.5. They expected, 4 or 5 runs to potentially only be scored. But the fact that they even moved it up to 9.5, I like this even better. Now, like I said, Smyly is a lefty. He's been pretty good. 2.83 ERA, 0.91 whip. Like a whip below 1, very, very solid. He's had a lot of quality starts. He even had a no-hitter going into I think the 7th or 8th inning in one start. But the Marlins have seen Smyly a good amount, 46 plate appearances, a 325 batting average for Smyly, and a 28.3 K percentage. So he's been able to get some strikeouts on him, but he's been struggling striking out guys recently. He had 1 strikeout performance like 10 Ks, but other than that, really hasn't had a ton of high strikeout performances. And like I said, the wind is blowing out, and Smyly's guy has been relying on fly ball outs all year long. In fact, he's had 10 plus fly ball outs in 4 of his last 6 starts, had 14 in his last start, and 8 and 9 in his other 2 starts that he didn't get 10 or more. So he's relying on those fly balls. Could the wind potentially carry the fly ball out into the outfield and into the bleachers? Yes, I think so. And this is a Marlins team that, like I said, I don't really like backing them against the lefty or against the righty, but they've been decent against lefties. We've talked about them. They have like 3rd best batting average versus left-handed pitchers. They're getting guys on base. While they don't have a lot of home run power to put it into the bleachers, the wind might help them out. So I think the Marlins can put up some runs today, and maybe the Marlins only get us 2 or 3. There's a chance the Cubs could score 10 on their own, as they're going to be going up against Brian Hoeing of the Marlins. Now, Hoeing, I got to be honest, not too great this year. 6.23 ERA, 1.62 whip. 2 starts, 4 earned runs, and 2 earned runs. Now, what I do like is that his last start gave up 2 earned runs, 5 hits against the Cubs. So this is a team that just saw him a week ago. Now you get him again. I think they're going to be able to hit him a little bit better than they did last time. And just like a guy like Smyly, this is a guy relying on those fly ball outs. 11 and 13 fly ball outs in the last 2 starts. So he's a guy relying on him. And like I said, could we get some hits that go normally to the warning track, maybe get carried into the bleachers? Yes, that's happened before. We've seen Wrigley Field become a home run derby before, just because of the wind and how it circulates in the air and pulls the ball into the outfield. Now, when you see a over under at like 7.5 in Wrigley Field, you're normally like, all right, the wind's blowing in. But I think it's blowing out here today. And Hoeing, you look at his hard hit percentage, really struggling, 58.1% in hard hits. So these guys, he's given up a lot of hard hit balls. The league average is 35.9%. So a lot of hard hit balls, a lot of high average exit velocity. This is the Cubs team with guys that can put the ball into the bleachers. And this is the Cubs roster that's capable of going out there and getting 10 runs on their own, making this a no sweat bet. You look at the Cubs, 8th in batting average, 9th in OPS, 8th in home runs versus right-handed pitchers. Hoeing is a righty. So I think they'll be able to get up some runs on Hoeing. And at the end of the day, maybe we have 6 or 7 runs into like the 7th or 8th inning. We're going to need some cover runs there. The bullpens are capable of giving that up. Cubs, 3.92 ERA. Marlins, 4.70 ERA. We know the Marlins have some turkey tossers in that bullpen that are going to go out there and probably give up some runs. I don't necessarily think Hoeing's going too far into the game. And if the Marlins can get the Smyly, given their plate appearances, given, how they can hit against lefties, maybe the Cubs bullpen comes in here early. I think there's going to be run opportunities late, and maybe that's all we need. But you don't set an over-under at 9.5 and not expect some runs. Yesterday, they did the same thing. They only got 5 runs combined. I think this is an over spot. Give me the over, 9.5 runs in this game. Marlins, Cubs, early start. Hopefully, it's looking good if you're watching this later on in the afternoon. So those are my 2 favorite plays of the day. I will play the music, but I know there's some sad news here today. I can't come out here and put out a nerfy I have no confidence in, and there really aren't. I could force one, but you guys don't want me to force plays and lose you guys money, lose myself money. I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to come out here and give you guys a no one first inning that I really don't have a lot of confidence in. So that's the bad news of the day. No one first inning today. I know we'll have one tomorrow because the good news, Logan's back tomorrow. So you'll be able to see him. He'll be coming out with his favorite picks. And he's obviously was on a heater going into his vacation. Let's see if he can stay dialed in on Sunday. But those are my favorite picks. We're only going with two of them. We got the Marlins Cubs over 9.5 and the Guardians on the money line. Let's try to go 2-0, try to make up some money on some this weekend baseball. I know the last 2 days been 1-2. We're not going to win many every single day, although it did feel like that for like a 2-week stretch. But let's have a good 2-0 day. We'll be back tomorrow. Nerfy Nation will fly the flags tomorrow. No Nerfy today. But have a great Saturday. See you guys back in tomorrow morning with Logan back. We'll see you guys then.